Port St. John's, September 2020. Garrick and Kob breeding season. The fish are spawning, and these guys are jigging them out with treble hooks on a trace, 3 in a row, sometimes more.
Onto the Garrick.
Here's a good example.
And that's hooked to these traces, what these O's are jigging with here now.
This went on for months, and loads of guys caught loads of fish. The local guys sold them on, resulting in this. Welcome back to the Sardine news, coming at you from a secret location. Some of you might guess where it is. But anyway, lots of time to think around here between fishing sessions, and about these poor Garrick there in Port St. John's and the Kob, and the slaughter that goes on, and all those guys who just think they can take those fish out of the water and not put anything back. But I was driving along to the ummm marina the other day, past Spitters, and there I saw a whole convention of DAFF cars. DAFF people. Maybe 10, maybe 20. And that got me thinking. All that money spent to have lunch together, and all you're trying to protect 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 fish. Alright, keep watching, because here comes my plan. I'm just going to try and catch something here. So far on this trip, Chelsea and I have had an absolute blast. We started off with a whole little shoal of green spot kingfish and a black tip kingfish and a couple of GTs. We went up to the top of this beautiful estuary, and we found the rock salmon. He gave us a harding, even smacked my whole popper in half, and we've got a date to go back up there and take a bit of revenge. And we've been catching fish on the fly too, kingfish and stuff as well. But on this trip, no, nothing. Right, so this is my plan. This is my brainwave. Right, so if you try and cost out what it costs to run a new bucky, you know, like those white ones those guys drive around, sometimes they got double cabs. Some of them are single cabs. Lots of them are four-wheel drives. I'll tell you how much it costs. It costs about 15 rand a kilometer for like a more expensive one to drive that car around. It costs about 10 bucks thereabouts if the car is a bit cheaper, like a two-wheel drive. Now, that includes most of the costs, your insurance and the petrol and stuff and the services, but it does not include the driver and the operator. So if you take those 20 cars, or 10 cars that were there at having lunch together, on a lovely Wednesday afternoon I think it was, then add up the money that they spent just having that lunch, just by driving there, all the salaries of all those guys who are now having a discussion about whatever they're discussing, on our time. We're the taxpayers. So these guys, just to go to lunch, must spend like thousands and thousands. Which brings me back to the Garrick in Port St. John's. The people who are catching the Garrick, not the ones who are selling the Garrick after they've been bought by the catchers. No. Those guys are just fishing for money because COVID made a real dent in a lot of our lives. And those guys are fishing for bucks. So why don't we pay them to tag the fish? Give them 300 rand per tagged Garrick, and then you can just sell one DAFF car. And that'll pay for years of saving Garrick. I mean, if they spend 10,000 rand to save 300, what's that? What's 10,000 rand if they can spend that money at lunchtime to save 300 breeding fish? This brings me to my problem with government and this frivolous spending in the name of conservation and in the name of doing a job. They're meant to be doing the job for us, the taxpayers. Those people work for us. So they're not doing their job. They're eating lunch, spending all this money where 30,000 or 100,000 rand given to locals to tag Garrick and Kob in this breeding season would be an amazing thing for the community, for tourism, for our image as conservationists in South Africa. So yeah, DAFF, sell one car and get your shit together. We'll pick up.
Point made. Because if we don't step back and look closely at the wayward principles deployed by our very own rogue government organizations that make literally no sense at all, then we may see that it is only up to us to forge a way forward, and it's always too late. We should have taken responsibility away from government ages ago. DAFF demonstrably cannot cope with the responsibility.
But okay, guys, I've had many offers to help and people saying that they know people who want to help legal matters to fight these problems. So please, if you actually are serious and you really want to do help, get in touch. My email is going to be on the screen right now. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe. Shop, shop.